It will be made available on our school website, as well as a Creole and Spanish version of the PowerPoint. So if there's somebody who would like to go back over this in one of the other languages, you'll be able to do that as well. Also, I'm going to draw your attention to, let me see how to show it to you. I'm going to present my screen so you can see. I'm going to show you where to find some documents that I'm going to talk about. Okay, so on your computer screen, you see how when I scroll down to the bottom of my screen, this white bar across the bottom pops up and it says one parent meeting and it has a little paperclip next to it. So everybody should have this across the bottom of their computer screen, okay? So if you click on this little arrow right here, it opens up this little window, and across the top, there's two tabs. So this tab here to the right says attachments, and there are 6 attachments in here. So there are actually 2 documents in here that I'm going to refer to this evening. The first one is the meeting agenda. So if you would like to just look at the agenda, it is here for you to open. It is in all 3 languages, English, Creole, and Spanish. And also the parent compact, which we will talk about a bit tonight, is also here in all 3 languages as well. So in English, in Creole, and the HC stands for Haitian Creole, just in case you were wondering, and Spanish. So that way you can see the documents if you want to look at them when I'm talking about those, okay? So everybody should have access to that piece. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to present from a PowerPoint. Ms. Edwards, do you want to say hi before I get started?
Hello, thank you. Let me turn down. Good evening, everyone. It's so nice to see so many of you all on tonight. Thank you all for joining us for our Title I meeting. I'm Ms. Edwards. For those that do not know, I'm a principal at Harvard, and Ms. Wallow is one of my assistant principals that will be presenting tonight. So hopefully after this meeting, you will understand the functions of Title I. However, if not, please always reach out to me if you need to. But good evening. Ms. Brown, you want to say something before she starts?
Hello, everybody. My name is Ms. Brown. I'm one of the assistant principals here at Harvard. Just to say thank you all for joining us and providing us with your support this evening. And we look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, so I'm going to reshare my screen now. So also, just to draw your attention to the chat box on the right, it's up across the screen here. See the little word bubble here. So if you click on that, you'll see there's a chat here, and at the bottom you can type in questions or comments along the way. And Miss Brown will be helping as far as moderating that the chat box. So she'll be able to answer some questions, any questions you have, and so on. So if there's something you would like to know or ask or comment along the way, please feel free to put it there, okay? Okay. So we go here, here, and here. Okay, it should. All right, so let's talk Title I. So this is our annual meeting. Every year, Title I schools are required to have a meeting. So that's what this is this evening. So the purpose of this meeting is for us to explain to you what Title I is. It is a program that is federally funded that provides money to schools who have a large population of free and reduced lunch students. It's designed to not only provide additional funding to schools, but it also is designed to encourage families, parents, and community members, but to become more involved in the school for their students. What is it? So it helps us meet our students' goals and educational needs and goals. It provides our staff with professional development, and I'll talk about that a little bit. And also it supports the school and our family partnerships. We really do want our parents to feel welcome at our school. Right now, being that we're virtual, things are a little odd, but we really do encourage our parents to be involved, to reach out, to contact us, to communicate with us. When we have events, whether they're virtual or in person, we encourage our parents and our families to attend, to be a part of that community. The more involvement we have with our families and our parents, the better our students do in school. So how does the school become a Title I school? Well, a couple things. First of all, the district sets a threshold of number of free and reduced lunch families. And a free and reduced lunch is where if a household's income falls at or below a certain level, then they can qualify for free and or reduced lunch. And every year the federal government says that a school must reach a certain percentage of their population as free and reduced lunch in order to be eligible for Title I funding. And as you can see, the threshold begins for middle schools at 70%. So you think 70%, that's not bad. It's not too high of a threshold, but that's just the beginning threshold. There are actually several, well, I think there's two levels of thresholds. 70% is the lowest, it's the beginning level. The upper threshold where you get the most money is at 90%. So if you're a 70%, you don't get the full funding amount. But if you're at 90% or more, you do. So last school year, we actually were 91%, which means we got the full award. And I have to tell you, we missed it we got it, but by 1%. It was very hard for us to get those last little bit of percentage points that we needed to get there. We really pushed hard. We basically were calling homes. We were helping families complete the applications remotely because they didn't have computer access. We were sending the kids home with paper forms. So we did a lot of really hard work to get to that point. And the reason for that is the 70% versus the 90% threshold is a difference of, well, for us, the previous year, the year before last, was a difference of about $125,000. So in other words, if the 2 years prior, we did not make the 90% threshold. We did not get $125,000 that we could have gotten if we had made it to the 90%. So last school year, when we really pushed to get all the families eligible to apply, we hit that 91% mark, and we actually ended up getting $492,000 to the school. So you have to understand that's a lot of money, $492,000. Who wouldn't like to have that, to have in a bank account that you can use to spend on, your kids and their education and the things that they need. And so that's what we have. So this year's budget came to us at $492,000. So that's huge. That's a lot of money. So this year we're going to push again. So however, right now, being that we're virtual, one of the things that's happening is our percentage currently is at 73.3%, okay? And you're like, well, that's good. We've already made the threshold, the lower threshold. But that 73.3% is all of our kids who are actually logging in and attending school right now. It's not because all students right now are eligible for free meals until I think it's through December. All of our students count for that. And with the virtual piece, when we go back to full brick and mortar where we don't have virtual anymore, or if the state decides to lift the free and reduced meals for all students, then that percentage, we're worried that percentage is going to drop, and then we're really going to have to push to try to get back to the 70% and definitely shoot for that 90%. So for families, it's really important for us to get the word out to our families how important it is to complete that application. And right now, because our students can get free breakfast and lunch right now at school, no matter who they are or where they come from, we're concerned that our families who really do qualify for free and reduced lunch aren't applying. And so we have to start getting the word out that those who are eligible need to apply. They still need to apply, even though they're already getting the meals for free, because that could change come January. And then we're going to have to go through this process. So if you or people you know qualify for free and reduced lunch, I'm asking you to please spread the word that those applications do need to be completed. And the application is available on the website. You can submit it electronically, or if you prefer a paper copy, all you have to do is reach out to us at the school, let us know, and we can send home a paper copy for you. Okay. So it's really important that our families understand that they do still need to apply for free and reduced lunch. If they don't, we're not going to get the money. We're going to lose. We could potentially lose somewhere around $125,000 that goes directly back into the school and directly back to our students. So that's really important to know that. So all that money that they do fund and give to us is money that is intended to be in addition to what we already get from the state of Florida. So we get our budget from the state of Florida, we get our budget from Palm Beach County, and then in addition to what we already get, this money is additional, it's supplemental. So it's really nice that we have this extra money, because there are many schools out there that are not Title I, and they honestly, they don't have the money that we have. And they wish they did, but they don't. So we're very fortunate to have Title I and to have this program for us and for our students. So what does it mean for our school? Well, first of all, it means that our parents, it means that as a school, our job is to get our parents and families involved. So first of all, as parents and families in our school, you have rights. And those rights for you are listed here. So the first is that you have a right to attend, and we are required to hold the annual meeting. You have a right to attend this meeting. It is open to the public, to anyone who wants to attend. We have shareholder meetings, or where basically you get to have input into things that we do, the decisions we make. Decisions could be programs we have at the school. It could be decisions we make about supplemental programs that we buy or purchase for students for classrooms. It could be positions that we purchase. We do purchase teacher positions and support positions with Title I money. You can have input on purchasing of like technology. So there's all kinds of things that you get to have a say in as part of our school and part of our community. And we ask you and we look to you for your input, because this is for you and your children. And so therefore, you have to have a say, and we want you to have a say, because if you're not happy with what we're doing, or if you have suggestions of things we could do differently or better, we want to hear those things, because we want to do better. We want to constantly grow. There's always room for improvement, and we want to make sure that we can do that with as a partnership with all of you. So also, as parents within our school, you have a right to see and to be a part of the family engagement plan, the PFEP. And that plan last year, we wrote it last year because we actually start the writing and working on some of these documents in the spring. So we began the process of this last spring, and it is posted on the website. So everything at this point, all the documents we'll be talking about, all the things that will be done and published will all be available on the school's website, Carver Middle School's website, under the Title I heading, okay? So you can always go back and look at those things. The school parent compact, we're gonna look at that tonight. And that's what's in the little place I showed you where you can click on the document so you can actually review it and look at it. It is in draft form, meaning it is not finalized for publication just yet, because I need you all to look it over and let me know if there are things you would like to adjust or change or add, or if it's good, it's good. Let me know that too. And then the parents' right to know, we talked about that at the last SAC meeting, if for those of you that were at the last SAC meeting. And that is a letter that is all right now currently posted on our website, and I'll address that a little bit later as well. And then surveys. So whenever we have parent surveys, ways for you to communicate with us, if we want to know what you think about things, then you also have access to those surveys. And there will be a survey for you at the end of this as well to complete. So Title I program, it benefits the whole school, the parents, the students, our families, and our teachers. So it's we benefit one to benefit the other, then to benefit the next, and so on. And it is a cycle, and it doesn't get broken. As long as everything works and works the way it's supposed to, all we can do is make each other better. So first of all, the school-wide plan is a document that we, like I said, we started working on back in the spring, and it is comprised of these 5 components: the comprehensive needs assessment, expected outcomes for the school, activities to support needs, the activities that we would develop to support the needs of the school, the parent and family engagement plan, and then the narrative components. And I'm going to go through what these things are with you. So first of all, I'm going to talk about our needs assessment. So our comprehensive needs assessment is where we look at the data of the school, and we shared this out with parents in the spring, and we were virtual already, so we had done this through a virtual meeting, and we talked about the data. Now, since we did not have FSA last year, we do not have the typical data that we would use to lay out the plan for this year, okay? And right now, as of today, there is an FSA. There will be an FSA in the spring. The state is saying that there will be FSA. Right now, they have not said, there are no plans to cancel it or change it like they did last spring. So right now, we are moving forward, full steam ahead, planning for an FSA. And so we are preparing our students with that in mind. Every school has to set goals for that FSA, for the testing. And so what we did is, if you can see here, what we are looking at, since we don't have the data from last school year because we didn't take the FSA, we're actually looking at the FSA data from this 2019 school year, and which is the data that we used to plan for last year's. But with that, we're also looking at the winter diagnostic data. So our students did take a diagnostic assessment in January of 2020, this last school year. And so we actually have 2 sets of numbers that we can look at to make a plan for our kids, okay? So if you look here on the first set of bullets here, we have the ELA, which is English Language Arts. So the FSA data from school year 19 was that we were 45% of achievement, 45% achievement in ELA, and our goal we set to improve was to get to 50%, okay? So then last year happened, and we took the diagnostic in January, and our ELA data came back at 45%. So basically, you can see we stayed the same. We didn't really show any growth. However, with that said, what I want you to remember is that 45% from school year 19 was at the end of the year after a full year's worth of teaching. Okay. So then when you come to FY20, which was last January, that was the middle of the year. So at mid-year, we were already at 45%. Halfway through the year, we were already at 45%, where the year before, we ended the year at 45%. So that actually shows a trend of growth and gains. So our end goal, if we had taken the FSA back in the spring, was to get to 50%. So if we look at this trend, we were already at 45% halfway through the year. So it looks like had we had the opportunity to take the FSA, we probably would have had gotten there to the 50%. We just don't know for sure because, you know, can't predict things like that. But we were the trend was there, and we were definitely working in the right path to reach that goal. So then down here looking at math, same thing. FSA math, we had from school year 19, it was 39%. The goal was 45%. Okay, now look at this jump. Okay, so again, end of the year for math from FY19 was 39%. When they took the math diagnostic in January of FY20, they already were at 50%. Okay, so that's huge. That's a huge growth. So again, 39% was what they achieved at the end of a full school year. And then to the next school year, halfway through that school year, they had already reached 50%. And if you look at what our goal was, it was 45%. We already blew away our goal, and that was only halfway through the year. So kudos to the math department and our students. You can see we're really moving in the right pathway. We're definitely working, our trends are going in the right direction. So then if we look at science, it's the same idea. So FY20 science was 29%, which we were not happy about. However, we set a goal for 42%. We didn't get to take the FSA. The diagnostic from January had them at 31%. So as you can see again, they were making gains. They were growing and moving in the right direction. So 29% from a whole year's worth of teaching. New school year comes along halfway through, and we're already at 31%. Our goal is 42%. We still have a way to go, but we're getting there, and we're going in the right direction. And that's the important thing to see. Okay. So 2 more to do. Civics. So civics is our 7th grade social studies class, and civics is the tested subject. So in other words, 6th grade and 8th grade social studies do not have an FSA or an end of course exam. However, civics in 7th grade, they do. So we do not have information data for them, but they were 59% the year before, and we set their goal for 64%. And so that's what we are working toward now is 64%. And their FSQs and their FSAs, their FSQs and their USAs throughout all the little mini assessments they take throughout the school year are trending them in that direction as well, in the upward direction. And then acceleration, same thing. Acceleration is a combination of the state looks at our advanced math classes and like algebra and geometry, and they also look at our technology classes, our computer classes that have industry certifications. And when you look at the pass rates of our industry certifications in our computer classes and our student performance on their Algebra 1 and geometry end of course exams, we were at 72% achievement, which is fantastic, but we want to do better. And so we set ourselves a goal of 88%. And so that was last year's goal, but because we didn't get to finish out the school year, we don't have an ending number. So our goal this year is also 88%. Hopefully we're going to continue to, we'll be going in in the right direction as well with those courses as well. So you can see overall Carver's doing what Carver needs to be doing. We are doing great things. Our teachers are wonderful. Our kids are doing well and performing. And we're moving in the right direction, and that's all we can really hope for and to do. And we work very hard at that. It's a very deliberate process when we're looking at the data, and then we develop our lesson plans and our curriculum to push our students so they can be successful. Okay. So moving on now is the expected outcomes. So our expected outcomes, when we look at all of that data, what do we do to reach those expected outcomes? So those are those bolded numbers that I just went over with you. So what are we going to do to get there? So this is a list of things that we do that we already have in place, okay? And we have these things in place because of the Title I money. What do we spend $492,000 on? Well, some of it, we spend it on teachers, like I said. So we buy and purchase a math resource teacher. We've purchased a reading resource teacher, and we have purchased 4 academic tutors. So these are people who their jobs, they are not tied to classrooms to say like they have their own classroom and their own set of students that they're responsible for. They're people who get to go in, they push into other classrooms and they support our teachers. They may co-teach with our teachers. They may they meet with our teachers and provide them with strategies and resources to use to help push our students to be more successful. We have 4 full-time academic tutors that we buy, that we pay for, and they go into we have 2 of them go into intensive reading classes. 1 of them goes into math classes, and the 4th one goes into science classes. And so what they do is they push in and they support our teachers. And so they're in there. Sometimes they'll do small group instruction with the kids. They'll pull them aside and they'll work with them in small groups. They help like if the teachers need assistance in a lesson and teaching, they do that. So the academic tutors are there to really just give the teachers an extra set of hands and an extra set of eyes, and to really help the teachers isolate students' needs, to look at student data, individual data, and group the kids in ways that can more effectively instruct them and support them, and that's what they do. We also buy support positions with this Title I money. So we have a math coach, we have a single school culture coordinator, and we have a parent community liaison. And you may have met Miss Britt, our parent community liaison. She spends much of her time directly communicating with parents and families and community members and business partners. She is invaluable to us. I don't know what we would do without her and the work that she does. She has such great connections within the city, within the community, and she brings in business partners for us. She brings in all kinds of community leaders that provide workshops and presentations to our parents, to our students, to our teachers. So she also organizes like food drives and school supply drives and clothing drives. So our families who need a little extra assistance have access to those things. And Miss Britt, she works very hard to do that. And if you ever need anything from the school like that, where you need, clothing, school supplies, food, or just information of services from within the county, maybe alternative school placements for your children if there's a need, like, you know, if you find that a traditional school is not working for them at the moment, or if you need services from the county for housing, or, you know, anything like that, that the Palm Beach County, not the school district, but the county itself, Miss Britt is a great resource for you because she can find information for you that to help you. So she's somebody that you can always reach out to if you need something and you just don't know who else to call or ask. Call Miss Britt and she will be able to help you do that. Our math coach works with our teachers. Our math coach has what we call professional learning communities. They're PLCs, and he meets in PLCs and works with teachers to write curriculum. They look at the data that comes from all of the assessments that they do, and they look at the trends, and he helps our teachers develop their curriculum and their lessons, their daily lessons, to address the data, to look at what the kids can and cannot do, and to develop a plan for them. So again, to help get those kids and push those kids to where they need to be. Our single school culture coordinator also does very similar work. However, and we have a new one this year. Her name is Jessica Hoffman, and she just joined us, I think, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, maybe almost 2 weeks ago. And what she does is she oversees our language arts, our intensive reading, and our social sciences. And she does the same kind of thing that our math coach does, pulls all the data, analyzes the data, meets with our teachers and PLCs, goes through the data, helps teachers focus their lessons and their curriculum to, again, better address the needs of our students. So we have these great positions in place. Many schools don't have these positions because they don't have Title I funding. So they kind of get stuck, and they don't have these extra helpers to drive their kids and to drive their curriculum and to support their teachers. So we are very fortunate to be a Title I school and to have the ability to purchase these really great resources for the kids, for the school. So more things that we spend our money on. So we also spend our Title I money on extended learning opportunities, also known as tutorial. So we offer morning tutorial. And the idea is that our morning tutorial program will be from 7:45 to 8:45. And I say will be because we haven't quite started it yet. We're still in the finalizing of the actual plans and logistics of it, but we will have morning tutorial. We will also have Saturday tutorial. So kids, and here's one of those really positive, great things about the virtual piece that many of us struggle with, but there are positives to it. Part of that is this virtual piece, that more kids can attend tutoring now. You can do Saturday tutoring and you don't have to leave the house. You know, tutoring on a Saturday, people are like, I don't want to get in the car, drive all the way to school and go sit there for 4 hours. No, now we can do tutoring from home. And because we have these computers and we have cameras, and we're hoping what's going to happen is that we're going to be able to really tap into some students that we haven't been able to tap into before. Many of our families, our kids, our parents, they work on Saturdays. So they can't they can't drive their kids over to Carver to go attend tutoring on a Saturday because they've got to work. Well, now we're virtual. So we can log in and do tutoring through a computer. And I mean, how awesome is that? So we can get extra work and help for our kids in new ways because of the virtual. The other thing we do is we also do tutorial during the school day. And what we do is we target kids based on what their scores, their testing scores look like. And we group them with purpose, with deliberate purpose. And then our teachers, during their planning periods, actually tutor groups of kids. So our civics teachers, during their planning period, will pull small groups of students who need help in civics, and they will tutor those groups of students in civics. And then we have our language arts teachers who will pull students who need certain supports in language arts and reading, and they can pull kids out during their planning period, and they can support those students and they tutor those students. So we can actually offer tutoring during the school day in smaller pieces, but still every little piece builds up to bigger, greater things. So we have quite a bit of tutoring that is available to our students. It may not be the traditional tutoring that that people look for, but it is effective. It can be very effective. Again, we just need these kids to not only show up, but to show up and want to participate, and with the idea that they're going to walk away with something from these tutoring sessions. So that's something that we spend money on as well, and it's worth spending the money on it. We also spend our Title I money on technology and supplies. So some of the things that we spend money on is, for example, classroom libraries. Language arts teachers need classroom libraries. Sometimes within our other classrooms, like science, they may want a teacher may say, hey, I'd like a set of books or classroom library on nonfiction science, books that are focused on science type things. And we can purchase classroom libraries for them with that. We also purchase a number of online subscriptions that are available to our students through their subjects. So for example, we have Study Island. Study Island is a science online subscription that students use. It supports their learning in their science classes. iReady is used for reading and for math. Vocabulary, which is a vocabulary program that we can use across all the curriculums, every subject area. Gizmos is a program that is like labs, but they're all online. So they're online labs that for science. They also have them available for math. Right now we're talking about having it for science. We may decide to add math to it. So, and then the other one is Discovery Ed. And Discovery Ed is a site that offers all kinds of interactive engagement activities and strategies for kids and for teachers. And again, the teachers can all log in. It goes across the curriculums, so every subject area can use Discovery Ed to support their lessons within the classroom. And they have really great engaging activities to get the kids going. And being virtual, it's really important that we find creative and sometimes outside the box ways to get our kids engaged, because our babies are sitting on these computers and after a couple hours their eyes glaze over and they're tired, and we're all tired. We all get tired after looking at a screen for hours and hours. And so the Discovery Ed has really great strategies for us that we can use to help keep the kids engaged and keep the kids involved. And then another thing we purchase they're called Ready, and they're workbooks, and we use these in our intensive reading classes, and it's part of the curriculum for them. So again, kids who are grouped and targeted based on their data, and we have all of these wonderful strategies and all of these wonderful tools that we can use to target their needs and to help push them forward. And that's what we're doing. So you see there's quite a bit that we spend, and we still have money to spend this year. So we are actually working and brainstorming what other ways can we spend our money to use to help and support our students. And so we are really looking at ideas. So as parents, as community members, if any of you have ideas, if you like, hey, if there's something out there about, and you're like, wow, that would be really so cool if Carver could do something like that, but it costs money. And well, we do have some money left, and we are looking for ideas. So if you have an idea, just feel free to call me at the school, hey, Miss Boileau, I got this idea, I don't know if it'll work, but just there it is, And with that said, knowing too that whatever we spend our money on, it does have to be focused on the core curriculum. So that is English, math, science, and social studies. So everything we do here, everything we spend our dollars on has to directly support the core subject areas. Okay, so that's cool. I can see that there are lots of comments. Ms. Brown, you've been busy. Are there any questions or comments at this point that anybody would like me to stop talking? Because I can talk forever. So I don't know if there's anybody that has anything they would like to say or comment, or I'll just keep on going if you don't stop me. So we're good. Okay, I'm moving on. Okay, so the next is with our expected outcomes. Again, still what we spend money on. So now it comes to our parents and our families. So I told you at the very beginning of this, big piece of this is getting our parents and families involved. And those of you who, especially our 6th grade parents that are online here with us, you know how, and even those of you who aren't 6th grade parents, you remember elementary school wasn't that long ago for you. Elementary school, it seemed like everybody was involved, right? There were parents all over the place, things happening, lots of events, people were always involved. You had a PTA, you know, if for some reason elementary schools have all of this involvement. And then when their kids become 6th graders, all of a sudden, oh, they're in middle school. We don't have to, we don't have to be so involved anymore. And I know everybody works hard. Believe me, right? I'm full-time. I've had 3 kids myself. It's a lot of work. I get it. Juggling the work, the job, the kids, the school, everything. It's a lot. However, I just find it interesting. And all of us in middle school, we really are the middle child. We've noticed, elementary schools have so much involvement from their parents and their families, and then middle school, not so much. And so all we can do is ask and beg and encourage. We want you involved, okay? There are ways that we spend our money to do this, okay? So first of all, we train our parents on certain things. And as a school, we get to decide and choose, and with your input as well. So we'll start this process again for next school year later in the spring. But what kinds of trainings can we provide to our families? So one of the things that happened kind of inadvertently was open house. Our parents, in order to be able to get into open house this year, again, because it was virtual, they had to learn how to navigate Google Classroom, the whole Google suite, Google Classroom, Google Meets. All of you are sitting in a Google Meet right now. Everybody had to learn how to do this. So that's one of those things where we were able to provide instructions to parents how to do it. And then we were able to, and the teachers were able to also coach the kids through it. And then the parents, and the parents logged in through their students, their child's accounts, and they followed through and got to see what it was like to jump in and out of classrooms through Google Suite. The other one we do is STEM night. So STEM night is a night where typically in the past, we have the the Science Museum, up in West Palm Beach, they come and they bring all kinds of hands-on activities and really cool science things that you can play with and experiment with. You can actually purchase online. Most of the things that they show you can actually buy, and they do all really kinds of cool, really science-y things. And we also link that to our science fair. However, right now, being that we're virtual, we have not quite yet figured out exactly how that's going to look this year, but there will be a STEM night again. It's probably going to end up being virtual, and we are working with the museum to see how we can get them involved to help make this happen. So there will be a STEM night coming again, and it's about getting parents engaged, getting parents to understand the importance of doing experiments at home with their kids, right? Working through interactive, hands-on types of activities at home together. And believe me, it's frustrating. I have a 9-year-old boy who is stubborn as can be, and working with him hands-on is not always a delight. However, he likes it. He enjoys it. He likes to do things with me, show me how things are done, try to explain it to me. And sometimes that's all it is. They just want an ear to listen to them, and they talk you through it. And you learn things best when you teach it. So the STEM activity and the STEM nights is a really great night for our parents to learn how to be more involved with the kids at home. The third one we do is FSA night, and that happens in January. This year it'll be either January or February. I'm not sure yet. Again, just going along with the whole COVID thing and the whole virtual thing. But FSA night is going to involve us. Again, we're going to show parents how to navigate the state website and different websites where you can go to see what the FSA looks like, to see practice tests, so you can be at home and you can, again, we show you what it is and how to do it, and then you take it home, you work with the kids at home and you review FSA with them. You can practice FSA with them. A lot of times we want to go over, testing or just review something with them, and we don't even have samples of it to use. So we spend that night teaching our parents how to do that and where to get the resources so they're able to do that and work with their kids. We also, in that night, we give like stress relief, because a lot of kids are very anxious or get a lot of anxiety when it comes to the FSA. My own children can't sleep for a week before FSA. They're so stressed out over it. And so we can also provide you with different types of relaxation or anxiety type practices, breathing exercises, those sorts of things, to try to get our kids to calm down. And the calmer they are, the more focused they are when they go into the FSA, the better they're going to do. If they're all stressed out and nervous, they're not going to do so well. We also have ways that our parents and our families can be more involved. You can volunteer. We do have volunteers that come in from the community. Parents, you can volunteer too, but we have volunteers that come in and work in small groups in our intensive reading classrooms with our students. We can always use an extra adult in a room to help kids working through some, small group work, reading, those sorts of things. You can attend SAC meetings, and SAC meetings right now are virtual, so you don't have to go anywhere. You get home from work, you're tired, you're exhausted, you take your shoes off. Last thing you want to do is get in the car and drive to Carver Middle School to sit in a SAC meeting. Well, you can do it now from home barefoot, okay? So please, when you hear about our SAC meetings, they do happen every month. Please consider attending. We'd love to have you. Our numbers being virtual has actually been great, because our numbers have gone from where we would maybe have 5 to 10 people at a SAC meeting. Now we're looking at people, 40 people in our SAC meetings. So it's wonderful. That just means more people are getting the message. More people are getting to know what's going on here at Carver. And so that's really great. So please keep that up. It's awesome. And if you know people that aren't attending and, their kids go to our school, give them a good elbow in the ribs and tell them, hey, SAC meeting is next Thursday night. You need to join, you need to jump in there. So everybody's welcome again. Also, we ask you keep in contact with the teachers. As an assistant principal, I get a lot of calls all the time from parents about a teacher. The teacher did this, the teacher did that. And my first question is always, have you spoken to the teacher? Because that's what my first step is. I have to go to the teacher to find out what happened. So please contact your teachers. Be in constant contact. They will respond to you. You will build a great relationship with them if they know and if they see that you are involved and that you care about your kids. So don't be afraid to reach out to our teachers. Please don't be afraid of them. Don't let them, if one of them maybe seems a little strong in the personality department, don't let that stop you, okay? Be involved. Be an advocate for your kid. Also, we need you to keep your contact information updated. Too many of our families do not have current phone or email information in our system, in the SIS system, and it's very hard to get a hold of families sometimes. And I say it this way, it's not necessarily about us trying to reach out to you because your kid was bad or your kid, there was a problem. How about if your child gets sick and passes out and is unconscious and we cannot get in touch with you? How are we supposed to get in touch with you? So it's really important that that information is current and that we can reach you. Also, make sure that the school's phone number is not blocked on your cell phone, because what a lot of our little angels do is they get a hold of mom and dad's cell phones and they block the school number on the cell phone. So we've been calling and calling for weeks and weeks and weeks, And when we finally get a hold of a parent, they're like, I haven't gotten any calls from you. And we'll actually ask the parent, please pull up your contacts and find the number, and we'll see that the number's been blocked. So please make sure your phones, that our phone number is not blocked on your cell phone number. And make sure that information is current, because it really is important for us, okay? And then another thing is the parent gateway on SIS. Every parent has their own unique access code and password to the parent SIS gateway. If you do not know what the parent SIS gateway is, if you do not have that set up for you, then we need to get you connected. And you can do that by calling us, and we can send it to you. We can give you the code. We can send you a PDF of it through an email. I can even put it in the mail if I have to. But you, by being connected to the SIS gateway, you can see your child's grades in real time. You can see, you have the teacher contact information. And so it's just another way for you to stay on top of things and to really be aware of if your child is doing okay, if they're struggling, if they need help. This is another way for you to check on that. So please make sure that you have all of those things in place, okay? I see also there, Ms. Brown, you put about the links, the call outs. So the other reason your information is really important, the personal contact information, is I'm sure you all have gotten the either text messages, emails, or phone calls, the call outs that Ms. Edwards does. Those all go out and are connected to you based on what that contact information in SIS says. So again, if you want to get that information, if you want to stay informed, that information has to be correct, or you don't get those messages. Last year, I went to a workshop on using the Parent Link system to put all these, to send out these communications. And I found out that when we were sending out the emails, the text messages, and the call outs, only 1/3 of our parents were getting any form of communication from us. Using all three methods, only 1/3 of our parents were actually getting our communications. So then we started a very big initiative to really reach out, make those phone calls, and get a hold of people. And many of you remember when you came through the drive line to get the computers and to get textbooks last spring, during the summer, and then at the beginning, in August, you saw we were giving you papers to fill out and complete your contact information to give us updated info. And that 33% has grown. So we are reaching so many more of our families now. But it's really important you keep that information current and going. Okay, so what else do we spend our money on? Well, professional development. Again, the coaches that I spoke about earlier, they provide professional development to our teachers, like I explained that one as well already. All right, so research shows that when our parents and families are involved, our students are more likely to perform better. They get better grades, they do better on tests, they actually attend school. Attendance is a big deal right now, and we are really struggling trying to get our kids to all log in. Again, if your students are home alone because you have to go to work, please do whatever you can. Make sure that they're logging in, make sure they're there. And if they're not logging in, and if they're whatever, you need to give us a call so we can talk about any kind of assistance we can give you or alternative ideas we have. But we need to get our students attending school. They're not going to move forward if they're not in school, whether it's brick and mortar or virtual. They're going to have better social skills. They're going to get promoted to the next grade. When they're in high school, they're going to graduate. And by the way, middle school builds the foundation for graduation. Just saying, there is a connection, okay? So it's really important that you guys, the parents, the families, are engaged. Our parent and family engagement plan is a plan that we developed using all of that data. And that is where everything I just went over with you was part of that. Okay, this will be available to you for your reading on the website as well. As soon as I have the finalized publication of the summary of the whole, because the whole thing is very hard to read, but I have a summary coming, and that will be posted to the website for you to see. But it's basically everything I just covered. I see I'm long-winded, sorry, so I'm going to try to run through this a little faster. So everything I just covered, basically. Parent training. So I already said this too. So our STEM night is to be announced as far as when it will be coming, because we have to work with the museum and figure out how it's going to be done and what the best way is for that to happen. And then our FSA night usually happens in January or February. So it gives us enough time to prepare for FSA and get everybody trained up. So then this parent school compact. So that's one of the documents at the bottom that I asked you to look at. So if you remember that white bar across the bottom that I showed you, and there were the attachments, if you look that over, and you don't have to tell me tonight, you can always email me later if you read it and you see something that you really are like, whoa, wait a minute, Miss Boileau, I think that really needs to be addressed in a different way. You can always contact me. And Miss Brown, can you put my email address in the chat box for them? So you can always email me directly and let me know if there's something you want to change or something you want us to consider, before I go to final publication of the compact. Okay, so that's why I posted there for you. We'll also, and then once it's all finalized, we will post the final version of it on the website as well. Okay. Okay, do I have any questions at this point, or are we still good, Miss Brown? Everybody doing all right there as far as answering questions? Okay, all right, I'm almost done, guys. So the parents' right to know, I went over in the SAC meeting, the last SAC meeting, but briefly, I'll kind of just go over it again for those of you who weren't there. So our families have a right to know or to ask about the professional qualifications of our teachers. You have a right to know if your teacher is, first of all, certified in the subject area that they're teaching, if they are considered highly effective or not. Okay. Non-teacher personnel that are providing instruction, if they are, in other words, like I said, if they don't have their certification, you have that right as well. You do have that right. And if they're teaching your child for more than 4 weeks is really what the legal, designation is, but we let you know, it doesn't matter. We let you know. So there was a letter, the official Parents' Right to Know document is on our website, and that is put out by the district. And then what's going to be happening in the next few days into next week is the letters will be coming home to students who have the specific teachers that this really addresses. So you will know specifically if your child is a child who is with a teacher who is not either certified or in that subject area. You'll know that. And you also, as a parent, you have the right to know how your student does on their FSA, their EOCs, and all their assessments. And again, that information, you can actually access it. The kids can see it, their progress in their Performance Matters tile. They can actually see how they do on all the assessments along the way. And then you can see their information as well. And if you can't access this information, you can, again, always reach out to us and ask, and we are happy to run the report for you and share that with you and go over it with you if you don't understand it. The teachers do this all the time with the kids. Your students have something called a progress monitoring form in many of their classes where they actually track all of their assessments, and they do a bar graph and color code it. And you can always ask your student, let me see your progress monitoring form. You can see how they're doing. So there's a visual that goes with it. So the kids know where they are because we constantly do this progress monitoring with them. So just ask your child. They can tell you. They know better. They probably know. They'll know more than any of us do. I can pull a report and I can share it with you, but your child will know it before I can get the report printed. So also, migrant families. One of the things as a Title I school is we do provide assistance for our migrant families. If you need assistance as a migrant family, the person to contact is going to be Miss Britt. And Miss Britt is then going to direct you to where you need to go next, okay? So if you need help with anything as a migrant family, Miss Britt is the person that you can talk to, and she will direct you in the right direction. Also for homeless families, students who are experiencing homelessness, we have a program, it's called the McKinney-Vento program, and it is specifically designed to support kids. It's for kids who are in shelters, who aren't in shelters, who are unfortunately maybe living in a car, or living from house to house, like they stay one night at a friend's house, the whole family, maybe mom and the kids or dad and the kids. You live in a friend's house for a week and then you move to another friend's house and then you bounce around from place to place. So those sorts of things. So if you are considered homeless, we can help you. We can provide you with resources that you need. If you find that you are in this situation, or you know somebody that is and they're afraid or they're embarrassed and they don't want to ask for help, encourage them to reach out to us, because we can provide them with things that they need, okay? We can provide them with food, with uniforms, with school supplies, all kinds of things. But we don't know people need it unless they ask. So again, you can always reach out to Miss Britt. She will always direct you in the right direction. And also, we do have a person on campus, in addition to Miss Britt, who is specifically responsible for tracking our homeless students and making sure that they have what they need. And her name is Miss Turner. And Miss Turner is our 7th grade guidance counselor, but she does work with all of our students, or all of our homeless students, regardless of their grade level. And this is the phone number for her right here where you can reach her. So her name is Miss Turner, and that is her phone number where you can reach her, okay? All right. I see Miss Brown said that if you cannot view the documents, just to email me, and that is fine. Email me directly and I will be happy to send them to you in whichever language you need. Okay, so last thing I want to bring up is our mental and behavioral support team. So we know, especially nowadays, that mental health, behavioral health is so important. Our students are struggling. Oftentimes we don't know. We really have no true concept of what they're going through behind the scenes, behind the computer monitors, especially the ones that are at home and have not come back to campus yet. We have a team. These are the names of them: Mr. Jones, Mr. C. Jones, Miss M. I didn't forget her name. We just call her Miss M, and Miss Jana. And the 3 of them make up our mental health and our behavioral health support team. Miss M is on the call tonight. Miss M, you there?
Still here.
Okay, so Miss M is just going to say a little hello, and this is a phone number. The phone number here is reaches to them directly. So Miss M, go right ahead.
Well, thank you so much for giving me a little bit of time to talk. I just wanted to come on here and say we do have the services. We do want to provide all the support that we can to all of our kids. We have a great, great, great team at Carver that deals with education. And now the district added onto it mental health support, which is really, really great. So if anyone ever needs help, if your kid knows of another kid who needs help, please call us. We are here. We want to help.
Great. Thank you, Miss M. So that's our support team there. Okay, so in conclusion, here we are. I'm at the end, and I'm not too over time. Ms. Brown, you've been addressing questions along the way. Is there anything I need as far as to address directly tonight?
No, I addressed pretty much everything. There was just a one parent that said he couldn't open the document. So
Okay.
I figured he can email you and you can give them to him.
Okay.
But pretty much we took care of everything else. There was
Wonderful.
a concern of not being able to reach some teachers. I told them to just call the school. I put the school's number, and they can ask for the student's grade level office, and we'll put them in contact with those teachers.
Okay.
And that was pretty much it. We took care of
Okay.
everything else.
Great, thank you. Okay, so now you can see that we do have an evaluation form, so I'm going to ask you just for a couple more minutes, and I just put the link in the chat box. So it is a link to a Google form, and if you wouldn't mind completing the form for me, all you have to do is, if you can open that link and just answer the questions. They're yes and no questions, okay? And then once you're finished completing those questions, just click the submit button at the bottom. Just please make sure if you do it that you do click that submit button, because without it, we won't get your results. So I do thank you for your time, everyone, tonight. I do apologize for going over a few minutes. Like I said, I'm very long-winded. I could talk forever, and I know that is something I have to work on, I guess. But
can I say something?
yes, ma'am.
I want to thank Ms. Wallow. You guys received a lot of information. And as a principal, there's still information when she's sharing with her Title I presentation that I still learn. So Mrs. Wallow, we want to thank you for informing our parents. A lot of information tonight. You worked really hard on this presentation. So I'm hoping that you guys really got really did a great job. Like I said, even as a principal, I've been at a Title I school all my life. And there's always something that I would be like, oh, okay, I wasn't quite sure. So Ms. Barlow, thank you for your presentation tonight. Parents, thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate that. I see a lot of our SAC members here. So thank you for your support. Get that survey in and let us know how we can always be of assistance.
Thank you, everyone. So that's it for me. I appreciate all your help. I hope to see you all at whatever our next events are. Don't forget SAC meetings. They're what is it, the third Thursday, Miss Edwards?
Second Thursday, November 12th.
Second Thursday of every month is our SAC meeting. So please, everyone, we definitely need your input and your support. And as you can see, we have a lot of money to spend. So it's a good problem to have. So thank you so much, everybody.
Ms. Wallow.
Have a great night.
Ms. Wallow, thank you.
Oh, Mr. Dean, hi. How are you?
I'm fine, Mr. Watt. Thank you. You guys did a great job over there. That's good.
Who do we have? What grade level is your baby?
She's in 9th grade, Jemaisha Jean.
Oh, she's in 9th already. Okay, well,
no, not good. I'm sorry. She's in 6. 6. Yeah.
We got your baby.
Yes, you guys, you're doing a great job over there. I see all that. That's good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Jean. It's so good to hear from you.
Yeah, and I'm waiting for your kid at Atlantic.
Oh. All right.
All right, guys, have a good one. Thank you for all those information.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, you're welcome. You're welcome. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Barlow, once again.
Everyone. We're just going to keep it open a little longer for the survey, okay, everybody? But feel free to check on out once you're done. Thank you for doing the survey, everybody.
He's losing because heretofore this has been a referendum election, and he is losing a referendum on Donald Trump.
Good job, Ms. Barlow.
Thank you, Miss Edwards.
That was good. Ms. Brown, great teamwork with her.
Ms. Brown, thank you for helping.
You're welcome.
I see you're still at school. I'm sorry.
Ms. Barlow, she said that to me, and I literally walked in, Barlow, when you said to say something, I literally walked in and turned on the computer. I was in traffic. The rain was bad. Yeah,
I know. Mr. Denor, do you have a question? You're muted. You're muted, Mr. Denor.
I'll type it, Barlow.
Miss Brown, can you unmute him?
Let's see.
I don't know if you can.
What's his name, Ms. Barlow?
Mr. Denor, did you have something to say? You're muted if you wanted to say something. We can't hear you.
Snow Angel too. It's light. It has a little bit of
No, it won't let me.
jasmine, nice sandalwood, and a sugared musk. It just makes it the prettiest scent ever. I put on sweet vanilla fig. Just makes me feel like everything's right in the world.
that good night, Mr. Denor? Good night? Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Denor. Thank you for coming.
I'm muted. I was talking to myself.
Oh, it happens.
Miss Brown, to get out of there, and Miss Paula, I'm gonna hang up now, okay?
Okay. Go right ahead. Thanks.
All right, thank you guys.
Yeah, good night. Okay, so Miss Brown, I wonder, I think you can probably go ahead, because once they're into the link, they should be fine. They shouldn't have to still be in the Meet to finish the survey. Because the Google form is a separate, once they're in, you know?
Okay,
So
I'm
at this
recording now.
Yeah, go ahead.